Welcome to Theme Park Shuffle Episode 7. What's up, everybody? It's David. I am joined by, of course, Logan and the godfather of Disney podcasting, Jeremy Stein. Jeremy, quick second. Episode 400, Main Street Magic, was phenomenal. Congratulations. I know Logan and I called in, but I wanted to say in person via Zoom, congratulations to you guys. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, man.
And I look forward to when we do episode, maybe if we get to 20, getting voicemails of just seething hatred for me hating on Harry Potter. So that's great.
I will call in.
So I can't wait. So as everybody remembers, last time on episode 6, we did a mashup of Disney IPs and Universal IPs, and we swapped them around. I had to do a Universal IP at Disney Animal Kingdom. Jeremy had to do a Universal IP at Epcot. And Logan was the lucky one that had to do a Disney IP at Universal Studios. So this is episode 7, and we're going to mash it up again. What we're going to do is Logan is again getting a Disney property, but he gets to put it at Islands of Adventure. I'm getting a Universal property that I get to put at Magic Kingdom. And Jeremy is also getting a Universal property that he is going to put at Hollywood Studios. So also, this coming Sunday is Halloween, and we are not going to get to do another episode before that. So some of these might be kind of Halloween themed for you guys. So this is the special, wait, let me change my voice, Halloween episode of Theme Park Shuffle. Jeremy, insert a sound effect right here. Here's what I was thinking for this one, guys, if you don't mind. My concept is going to shake the very foundation of what we have built as Theme Park Shuffle. And it is going to shake a very tried and true belief that everybody has about Theme Park Shuffle. So if you guys don't mind, I want to get it out of the way so that I can sit back and enjoy you guys later. Is that cool with y'all?
Works for me.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, so here we go. Everybody, buckle your seatbelts and prepare. One thing we have made abundantly clear in our 7 episodes and my voicemail that I left Jeremy and Rhonda is my hatred of Harry Potter. So the way I'm going to shake Theme Park Shuffle to the core is I am turning the Haunted Mansion into a Harry Potter themed attraction. That's right. We're going to see how good I am by taking something that is absolute filth and garbage and turning it into a salvageable, entertaining attraction that people want to ride.
Wow.
So like everything that I do, I have to find one thing that like clicks this light bulb and ties this all together for me. And in my extensive Harry Potter Wikipedia research today, I have found that there are 4 ghosts of Hogwarts that represent the different houses of Hogwarts. So I am turning a Haunted Mansion into a ride called the House Ghost of Hogwarts. Follow me, if you will. And in a little Logan pause moment here, go to YouTube. If you don't have Haunted Mansion memorized in your head, first off, get your life right and go ride Haunted Mansion like 50 times. But if you don't have Haunted Mansion memorized in your head, I would definitely suggest going on YouTube, finding a POV Haunted Mansion ride, and listening to my description as you're watching it. So, little background. The 4 ghosts of Hogwarts are Nearly Headless Nick, who is a representative of the House of Gryffindor, the Gray Lady, who is Ravenclaw, the Bloody Baron, who is Slytherin, and the Fat Friar, who is Hufflepuff. So, as you're walking into the Haunted Mansion, the queue is very similar to how it is now. It takes you a while to get there. But instead of Haunted Mansion style interaction and stuff, this is going to look like Hogwarts. There'll be all sorts of Hogwarts interaction that you can look at and touch on your way into the ride. Of course, we are going to turn the Haunted Mansion outside theming into Hogwarts. So as you enter, it's going to look like the great entrance of Hogwarts. And ironically, there are 4 paintings in this great room, very similar to something that you guys are familiar with. And as the room starts to stretch, we're going to see how Nearly Headless Nick, the Gray Lady, the Bloody Baron, and the Fat Friar all met their untimely ends and why they are haunting Hogwarts today. So then you're going to enter and sit in your ride vehicle. I couldn't come up with a fun name for it. I really tried. Nothing cool like Doom Buggy. So we'll just call it the Harry Potter ride vehicle. I don't know. So if you remember Haunted Mansion, you begin down a long corridor where there are paintings all along the wall. These are now going to be replaced by the moving portraits that are very, very famous in the Harry Potter movies. These portraits will tell the story of Hogwarts and the houses and everything that has led you here and led this to this moment. Then, if you remember Haunted Mansion, you now enter a library where there's a ghostwriter. Well, this has now become the Hogwarts Library, where Madame Pince oversees everybody. We're going to have an animatronic of her menacingly looking at you, making sure that you don't steal her books. And they're going to fly off the shelf in a very exciting book flying sort of thing there. So next, the ride vehicle goes. Logan's laughing at me.
So technical.
Very.
I don't know.
No, that's great. That's great.
Y'all don't understand. So then the ride vehicle is going to go to in the Haunted Mansion, which is the piano that is playing itself. That has been now replaced by the Hogwarts Orchestra Room. And there will be many instruments that are playing themselves. And it's going to play just a more haunting version of the Harry Potter theme song that you're, used to hearing, but just a more spooky version. So if you're going through the Haunted Mansion, next, of course, is, as my 5-year-old calls them, the crazy stairs. Stairs that go all sorts of directions and what have you. Luckily, Hogwarts has a very famous staircase. So this is now going to be replaced by the Hogwarts staircase. And this will be your first time that you see Nearly Headless Nick flying around. And as he touches steps, they'll disappear, just like they do in Harry Potter. This will be a fun, havoc-causing ghost. So then, in Haunted Mansion, you would proceed where there's the suit of armor and the long hallway. This is where you meet, actually, Sir Nick for the first time. He's a knight in a suit of armor. So we're going to take an animatronic suit of armor that's going to be Nearly Headless Nick, and this is going to represent the Gryffindor section of the Haunted Mansion, or the Hogwarts Mansion now. The next section of Haunted Mansion would be the seance room where Madame Leona is. This is now replaced by Ravenclaw's Gray Lady, who is Helena Ravenclaw. If you read Harry Potter like I haven't, then you would be very familiar that she was very obsessed with her mother's spell casting and witching abilities. So this is going to be the Ravenclaw section of the ride where you meet Helena, and her phantom ghost is going to be casting spells and all that fun stuff. Proceeding along would normally be the dining area of Haunted Mansion. This transports perfectly to the Hogwarts cafeteria, the Hogwarts dining area. At this point, you will see the ghost of the Fat Friar flying around, eating food, taking food from the kids, all that fun stuff like that. Moving further along into the Haunted Mansion would now be where you enter the bride's attic, where you get to see her different scenes with her husbands that she has since murdered. This is going to change into the Bloody Baron section and be the Slytherin area of Harry Potter. You will see the story of how the Bloody Baron killed the Gray Lady, and each section will give you a different story part. The whole time with the wonderful animatronics of the ghost and the phantoms that Haunted Mansion is so very well known for. So as you leave that, you enter the graveyard scene for the Haunted Mansion. Well, this is now St. Jerome's graveyard, which is a graveyard in Harry Potter. I want this to be the same kind of feeling when you get to the end of the Haunted Mansion. This will be all of the Hogwarts goats. All of the Hogwarts
greatest of all time. Goat is greatest of all time ghost. So we got you.
You can put a goat in there if you want to. It's a ghost goat, whatever. This is all of the Hogwarts ghosts flying around. This is just a Harry Potter. This is like overload of Harry Potter special effects, ghosts flying around throughout St. Jerome's graveyard, really giving you that awesome haunted mansion feel, but themed in Harry Potter. And at the end, as you come around, one of the 4 Hogwarts ghosts can follow you home.
Oh.
So you'll have a different interaction with every single ghost on top of your ride vehicle. Nearly Headless Nick could take your head off. The Gray Lady could do something. The Baron could be a little bit more violent, whatever you want to do. Then the ride will finish, take you back out, and you can exit back out into the yard area of Hogwarts. I love the Haunted Mansion so much. I didn't want to change it all that much. I just wanted to retheme it with something that I don't know a whole lot about. And I figured that all of the theme park shuffle people that give me a fit about my impressions of Harry Potter will love to hear that I took the Ghost of Hogwarts and made it into the House Ghost of Hogwarts. You're welcome, everybody.
Well done, David. Well done. I'm really excited to hear all the research that went into this in preparation, and that it actually, as much negative stuff as you say about Harry Potter, you still managed to pull information from the book and actually use that as the source material. And it really tied in very well with an overlay with the Haunted Mansion. And the fact that there were the 4 ghosts and then the 4, stretching portraits right at the beginning, it's like, oh, well, that's such a great setup.
I was actually super surprised. So I can give you guys a little peek in how my research went. So as I'm going through the Haunted Mansion, I'd be like, oh, well, now we're going to the library. Google Hogwarts library. Oh crap, there's an actual Hogwarts library. Then I'm like, Hogwarts staircase. Shut the heck up. There's the Hogwarts staircase. Literally every single room in Haunted Mansion was represented in Hogwarts in some form or fashion. And the Bloody Baron being the one that killed the Gray Lady flowed perfectly into the bride killing. And that can be that's kind of the weird, creepy part of Haunted Mansion, the morbid part. So it fits Slytherin pretty well, I thought. It was, as I really dug into how can I make this into Harry Potter, everything was represented, literally every single thing. And you could still keep the tradition and the stuff everybody loves about the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Sounds very Kismet. That's pretty awesome. Now, I do want to say one disclaimer for everybody earlier. Your version of Haunted Mansion is based off of the Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom Haunted Mansion.
Yes.
Like you mentioned earlier on, you had Magic Kingdom. So watch that video. Yes. Don't go to Disneyland or Paris Disneyland or, any of the other parks, because it's not going to be the same.
Yeah,
it is. Yes, you are correct.
Well, and I'll say, if you had not mentioned that you hate Harry Potter 73 times prior to your presentation, I don't think anybody would have known. Again, like Logan said, you did such a wonderful job researching and walking through and connecting the pieces and each individual room and the entire ride and attraction to Harry Potter, that I think if somebody just started at the moment you started, they would be like, oh, this is a Harry Potter fan. And if I'm going to be honest, maybe you are a little bit. Maybe you're a little closet Harry Potter fan.
Actually,
right? What do we think? Are you going to watch?
Time to come out, David.
Actually, Jeremy, what I am is a professional who is able to take the material that is given to me.
That's fair.
And turn it. I can take chicken and turn it into chicken salad.
There you go.
And if there's anything that's chicken, it's Harry Potter.
I want a whole watch series of us, and I think we review all of the Harry Potter movies as we sit down and watch them with David, maybe live
David
or something. I don't even know.
That.
I know, but
it's going to be 14 hours of me sleeping. I'll finally get some rest.
That's still a review. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. No, I love it. I think you did a wonderful job. I appreciate you going out of the box and selecting that. If we had put money on what we were each going to select, I would have never said you were going to pick Harry Potter. And I think Well, it's a bold
And that's
statement to pick
100%
Haunted
why I did
Mansion.
it.
Yeah, and to pick Haunted Mansion is bold, and I love the fact that you did that. So I say bravo, good sir.
Well done.
Very
Well done.
very impressed.
Really
If
fun.
I'm anything, it's bold.
And
for
that's
sure.
that's a little spooky, right? It's a little kind of like Halloween. We got Haunted Mansion.
That's
we got
right.
we got
Haunted Mansion.
ghosts.
Got some connection there.
I like it.
I told you, Halloween themed, everybody. I'm, men of the people, men of the, that's what we do. That's
All right.
what we do.
Now, Jeremy, are
So-
you going to be a trick or a treat?
Oh man, I feel like I'm both. This was not easy for me. I went back and forth a lot, and I'll say I wanted to stick to Rock and Roller Coaster for something, and I was like, you know what, that's so easy because the actual ride you can do anything.
Yeah.
And originally I was going to, you know what, Back to the Future, Rock and Roller Coaster, DeLorean is your vehicle. But I was like, you know what? There's not a lot to do at the beginning. There's not a lot to do at the end. I didn't want to make it easy. I thought about even retheming Indiana Jones stunt show, all these things. So what I landed on, and I told you guys earlier, I have one giant flaw, and I'm going to kick off with that, is I'm going to retheme the Tower of Terror.
Fantastic.
That is really hard to retheme from a building and facade, right? Because this is this towering, according to Disney, icon of the park. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into Beetlejuice, Welcome to the Netherworld. Now, this is where I'm starting. The facade is a huge issue. The building is a huge issue. I get it. I'm okay with it. I'm just going to love it. We are going to turn the facade in the building to look like the Maitland's house, Adam and Barbara. We are going to wrap it in white siding with large windows and make it that very kind of, I don't know, what is that, turn of the century looking farmhouse. I know it's not going to really fit in with the Hollywood Studios, Hollywood Boulevard theme, and it's really going to screw up when you're over in World Showcase looking at Morocco, which they, specifically painted Tower of Terror to fit in the background. I don't care. I'm just
we got to remember right? with this challenge too. The challenge is just about the individual single attraction. It doesn't have to fit with the land.
Perfect.
It doesn't. This is just fun. This is just mashup.
All right,
so
that makes me feel better. All right, so we now have this big tower, and I tried to. Originally I thought, well, maybe I can get a hotel into it, but I'm going to kind of follow along with the original story of the incredible classic Beetlejuice, which I think we all grew up with. We all love. My 13-year-old daughter, Kaylin, loves Beetlejuice more than anything. And so what we're going to do is, we're going to transform this into Adam and Barbara's house from the outside. And as you come up through the queue, though, much of that can kind of stay the same. But as you're coming in, you're actually going to walk through an area that is a covered old farmhouse-looking bridge, right? And weird enough, there is a large hole in the side of that bridge. I don't know, looks like maybe a car could have driven through it. And as you come around that final turn, if you can picture the queue as you walk through, there's this, I'm actually thinking of the giant archway it has all the bougainvillea plants. That would probably be the covered bridge for now. And then you turn right at the building, and then you get ready to turn left to go inside of the actual, full building and enclosure. I want to actually steal from Universal Studios and Harry Potter in the 9 3/4 platform, where they use that mirror setup, whereas you're a little bit back, and as you look ahead of you, the way that they use the combination of mirrors and technology, it looks like, the guests are going straight through that brick wall at 9 3/4. I want to use this same technology, but instead we're going to give a ghostly overlay where you're seeing guests in front of you look like ghosts going into the building, and you start to realize, wait a second, maybe something happened back on that bridge. Maybe I was part of that accident. I'm dead, right? So as you walk now into what is currently the lobby, this has been transformed into Adam and Barbara's attic area. You overlook the entire scale model of the town, We have the wood planked ceilings and walls, that really old school. There's a couch in the corner. As soon as you walk into the right where the, Mahjong game is set, instead of that is going to be replaced by the handbook for the recently deceased. That's sitting right there. We can still have some dust. We can have some cobwebs, starting to give you that little eerie feeling of something isn't right from when I first walked into this queue. In the distance, there's a door. And almost like Haunted Mansion, where that door kind of like pulsates. We have that same feeling, and there's a knocking and banging. And you can hear Delia, Charles, and Otho asking you to open up the door. And of course, Delia is screaming, "Open up, you dead people." So as you come through and you approach the now current opening outdoors, this is instead going to be a brick wall. Same way that it is in the Maitland's attic in the movie. And you can see the chalk outline that they've drawn, which they learned will help them, kind of pass on to what they need to figure out's next. Instead of the doors opening outward the way they do now, we're going to change this completely. And have either of you done Rise of the Resistance?
Yep.
So, know when the lightsaber cuts and the door kind of pushes inwards and has that wonderful cut outside, we're going to have that same feeling of these brick doors opening inward. As they open inward, you walk into Juno's office, and this is going to be completely redone. You're going to have an animatronic Juno to the left, who is going to be there and let you know that, well, you're recently deceased and you're stuck before you're going to enter your afterlife. So she lets you know that you can get the new owners, the Dietzes, I guess. Dietz. I don't even know I'm not sure what it would be pronounced, but so she lets you know you can get them out of your home if you've read the handbook, and basically you've got to learn to get them out yourself. But she lets you know, whatever you do, don't contact Beetlejuice. He's a troublemaker. He's only going to make things worse. At this moment, the lights flicker, they shut off completely, and the room goes dark. And on that little TV still in the corner is going to flicker. There's going to be static, and that iconic, I feel like, Beetlejuice commercial from the movie plays. Lights come back on, and Juno's a little bit worried now. She's like, you know what? I don't think you can actually do this on your own, so I'm just going to help you out, and I'm going to go ahead and send you to the afterlife. So you exit her office, and as you walk down that initial hallway, which would go to the boiler room currently, it's going to be that weird checkered hallway, and it's going to really mess with your mind and make you feel like you're going into a smaller space. As you get into what is now the boiler room, we've now turned this into kind of the overall little after dead Juno office area. You're going to have the flat guy that's been run over. He's going to be able to swing across. Down over the railings will be the desks of all the different kind of caseworkers, and there's going to be papers rustling. There's going to be announcements over the PA announcing who's next and maybe who just died or who's, getting ready to move on. As you approach the elevator doors, a cast member in full character will let you know this is actually a portal that will ascend you to your specific afterlife. So you're going to go ahead and move on. You're going to go to your afterlife. You're going to get in this thing, and it's going to take you straight up, right? So as you board, though, you can kind of hear some rustlings in the background and Beetlejuice's voice. So you go in and you rise up to that first initial scene, which, now currently includes the family that, met their fate on Tower of Terror. But instead, we're going to see Lydia. And she doesn't want you to leave. She doesn't want you to go to your afterlife. She wants you to stay there with her. She wants you to help get her father and stepmother out of the house so that you guys can all kind of live in peace. And she thinks with the help of Beetlejuice, you can do it. And so as the doors close, you can hear her say, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. So you go up again to the next floor. And as the doors open, Beetlejuice has been called, and your elevator cart starts to go through that room now, right?
Mm-hmm.
On either side, we can set up through whatever it is, maybe screens, animatronics. You're going to see sandworms. You're going to see ghosts. You're going to see, all kinds of eerie things happening that include Beetlejuice. And that classic Beetlejuice theme song is playing as you work your way through here. So at the end of that, of your cart going through, Beetlejuice appears and says, not only will he get rid of the deets, but he's going to take you down to the netherworld with him for eternity. So everything goes black and you enter that dark room, and right before this cart's going to move, air blasts from above, and you hear Beetlejuice is saying, it's showtime. So you ascend and descend now between your afterlife and the netherworld as the car plunges up and down, and you can hear Beetlejuice laughing in the background. So basically, when you're going way up and the doors open and you're overlooking Hollywood Studios, that's supposed to be almost like your afterlife. And then you plunge back down and you're going to the netherworld. So this continues on kind of the normal ride momentum. As the ride stops, you're not exactly sure where you ended up, if you're in your afterlife, if you're in the netherworld. But as you exit, you realize you're back home with Lydia. That's going to be your afterlife. And where you're going to come out, because that's a big open hallway with nothing going on but concrete, right? So let's go ahead and again, either through animatronic, LED screens, layered screens, whatever it may be, is Lydia, because she did well on her test, is performing Jump in the Line.
Yes.
As you exit, of course, there is a very, very wonderful Beetlejuice gift shop. The end.
Yes.
Dude,
That's it.
I love that. I love that
it.
so much.
I love it.
It's such a great movie that lends itself to, I mean, I know they did the haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights. I haven't been there, but I've heard it's phenomenal. But that could just be such a great year-round attraction. And Tower of Terror, it's a great ride, but who the heck knows the Twilight Zone now, right? I mean, that's a very old, not pertinent IP. So I know it would never happen, but to put Beetlejuice in there and be able to use that as like a afterlife netherworld sort of up and down, I love it, man.
The hardest thing was it's such a specific ride vehicle, which I was just like, and I feel like all the ride vehicles at Hollywood Studios are so specific to, like, there has to be a reason that you're traveling up and down.
And I think you nailed it. And I think
for sure,
if you wanted to then give it the Guardians of the Galaxy, approach where you then add screens. So as you're going up and down, you could have multiple narratives taking place and multiple, afterlives and netherworlds sort of as you go up and down in this elevator, which would then even further add to that storyline. And it could be so fun. And I mean, just having Beetlejuice alone is fantastic. And I love the idea of him actually getting a real attraction. And I know you mentioned that, the building doesn't work, but I think it works. I think it works great. I think it works for what you need it to, and who knows, one day they may actually build a Tower of Terror where it's all underground. So all you see is just a teeny tiny house at the top.
That would be so
where the
cool.
people pop up, but really it's dropping way below. And they actually recently did that, but things did not go well there. So not Disney.
That would be trippy. That would be trippy.
Just that idea of having that where what you see as just the top and it just barely drops, it actually goes way underground. But no, I mean, I think so far you two have killed it on this episode. These are such fun ideas, and again, like perfectly Halloween themed. How awesome is that?
And I don't think we even mentioned that we didn't plan this. Here. Yeah, we wouldn't even plan this. Like,
no.
So now, Logan, is yours?
Oh man,
amongst the spooky.
It is amongst the spooky.
Are you amongst the spooky?
I am a dork.
To remind everybody, I had Universal's Islands of Adventure.
Ooh.
And I had to use a Disney IP. And when you talk about Disney IPs and a Halloween theme, typically two shows come to mind. And I'm probably going to go with the one you're not expecting. That's right. I am turning Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey into Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Get
I
rid of
love
Harry
that.
Potter. I meant, yay,
Come
Hocus
on,
Pocus.
man. Oh, yes.
So-
I'm excited.
Here we go. Outside of Salem, Massachusetts, exists a castle by the name of Hammond Castle Museum that rests along the rocky coastline. There you will find a vast collection of antiquities ranging from the medieval to Renaissance to colonial American time periods. But what attracts guests the most are the unique artifacts based on spiritualism and witchcraft, collected and curated by the world-renowned historian Dr. Danny Dennison. This takes place after the original Hocus Pocus. This is a continuation of the story. Awesome. But don't worry about all this witchcraft talk. It's all just a bunch of hocus pocus after all. So guests walk through the gates of Hammond Castle and begin their journey in underground tunnels full of artifacts from the Salem witch trials. Guests then explore the outside courtyard, featuring a diverse selection of flowers with signs that explain their historic connection to magic potions. Guests finally enter the castle doors and proceed through the hallways on a self-guided tour of the museum. We encounter classic medieval and Renaissance paintings that appear to come to life if you stare at them long enough. Loudspeakers tell the tale of the famous Sanderson sisters of Salem, Massachusetts. In the Great Hall, Dr. Danny Dennison welcomes us inside and explains how she started collecting these witchy artifacts after barely surviving her encounter with the Sanderson sisters. In the library, Winifred Sanderson's grimoire sits in a special case, visible but out of reach from guests. Suddenly, the eye on the outside of the spell book opens, and the entire book starts to shake before finally bursting wide open. This triggers a variety of different special effects within the room, and we hear the voices of Winifred, aka Winnie, Sarah, and Mary Sanderson laugh and taunt as their spirits appear to have returned to the human world. Inside the invention room, a rather frustrated Danny is visible running along an upper minstrel gallery. She asked us what we saw and if the Sanderson sisters have truly returned. Then she advises us not to worry. She's been preparing for this day for a long time. She reaches back, pulls out her iconic black and orange witch's hat, puts it on, and then says a magic spell, and with a flash of light, informs us that she's enchanted several bench seats that will safely remove us from the castle. She then grabs a nearby broom, and before she takes off, says, "One more thing. An old friend of mine will help you find the exit." As we enter the next room, the spirit of Binks the Black Cat is waiting for us and provides instructions to safely get out of the castle. So guests board the enchanted bench seats inside the castle chapel and then lift off the ground. Before we can escape, the fully embodied Sanderson sisters appear and cast a spell. "Home, sweet home is where we make mayhem. It's time for us to go back to Salem." So we fumble through a cloud of smoke and then find ourselves traveling through a portal to Salem, Massachusetts. We travel out of a church bell tower and plummet toward the ground. Just in time, Danny flies next to us on her broomstick and redirects the bench seat. As Mary and Sarah chase Danny away, we come face to face with Winnie as she starts to sing, "I'll put a spell on you and make you mine." Our bench seat tries to get away as the Sanderson sisters chase after us. We finally escape by entering a nearby cemetery where the witches are unable to enter because it is hallowed ground. As we slowly journey into the cemetery, we can hear Winnie casting a spell. "Unfaithful lover, long since dead, deep asleep in thy warmy bed. Wiggle thy toes, open thine eyes, twist thy fingers toward the sky. Life is sweet, be not shy. On thy feet, so saith I." Tombstones start toppling over and the ground shakes below. As we turn a corner, we encounter an animatronic version of the zombie, Billy Butcherson, who lets out a disgusting burp of death breath. We flee the cemetery and enter nearby woods where Mary Sanderson is searching for us. She suddenly yells, "I smell children!" As we attempt to flee, sparks fly all around us as we dodge Mary's magical projectiles. Then we barely dodge another attack by Billy Butcherson thanks to Mary blasting his head off. Our bench seat returns to the sky, where we find Danny and Winnie flying on their broomsticks in a midair battle. Mary and Sarah arrive just in time to save their sister, and we follow after Danny as she tries to get us to safety. Sarah begins singing. Now, I'm not going to be able to do this properly. Come, little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment. Come, little children, the time's come to play here in my garden of magic. Despite Danny's best efforts, our bench seat starts to follow Sarah, Mary, and Winnie as they lead us back to their cottage. Once inside their cottage, Sari and Mara are chanting Ichida Copita Melica Mystica as Winnie splashes us with her magic potion and attempts to suck out our souls. Danny arrives just in time to shake us out of Sarah's trance and then destroys any potions the Sanderson sisters had left in their cottage. We follow Danny as she rapidly flies out of the cottage and leads us to a colorful garden where we stop and wait. The Sanderson sisters catch up to us, and when they hop off their broomsticks and touch the garden floor below, their feet turn to stone. Danny informs them that a lot has changed since 1993, and what looks like a garden is actually the burial ground for Binks the cat. Therefore, they are standing on hallowed ground. The Sanderson sisters warn Danny that they will be back again and let out one last scream before they completely turn to stone. We exit the garden and watch as the spirit of Binks the cat hops on Danny's shoulder. She waves her wand and says, "With the magic of life and a bench made of cedar, fly us away like Wendy and Peter." And just like that, we are back inside the chapel at Hammond Castle. The end.
We got to get our voice game up, David. Like, I'm
saying, you guys get a phenomenal attraction presented to you and an impression show at the same exact time.
Man, I really butchered it on Delia's open up the door, you dead people, and Beetlejuice Showtime. I could have really gone for it, and I didn't. And now I regret it because, Logan just killed it on that.
It's Logan's thing.
Hammond Castle is a real thing outside of Salem,
it's actually
or you
a
made
real
that
castle.
up? Okay,
yeah.
that's
So
amazing.
It is.
Okay,
So I wanted to.
I love that.
And the crazy part is it actually the architecture? There are similarities between the architecture of the Hammond Castle Museum and Hogwarts Castle.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they look exactly the same, but I'm saying there are similarities. So it lended itself perfectly. And again, since Salem, Massachusetts is a real place, and it's only about 30 minutes away from Salem, and it's on the Rocky coastline, and there is that whole sort of portal of witchy travel in this case, since we're not doing the whole, what is it called? Flu network that they use in Harry Potter. So that was kind of making it a real place, but then of course fictionalizing it and tying it all together.
That's amazing. And what's so great about this is it's such a perfect fit. Like as soon as you said Forbidden Journey, I was like, yes, I know what's coming next. And the story again fits so perfectly through. And I love that you went with a extension. That was one of the things I know I struggled with was, do I copy the Beetlejuice movie? Do I make it a new story? I love that you went new story. And I'm pretty sure you just wrote Hocus Pocus 2. I know they're currently filming it, but they're probably going to want some rewrites because this is a perfect Hocus Pocus 2. And working all of that in, again, an incredibly, I feel like difficult ride system to put something else into the way that you did. You know what I mean?
It was challenging.
It's awesome.
The way they have it, and there's what they do with that whole Kuga arm, and the way the ride sort of does a lot of you're up, then you're down, then you're traveling underground and then coming back. So like I struggled with that, trying to kind of make the story work and just realizing it's like, okay, I can't, I just got to make it to where they continue traveling through the cemetery into woods instead of having them go underground where there's spiders and,
No, you killed it.
Fix that.
Absolutely perfect.
And then really I struggled as well at first with just, am I going to, like you mentioned, am I going to just take what's already been made and turn it into something? But then as I kept working on it and, I already have to change it because of the castle. So it's like, why not just make it a whole new story? And I love the idea of Dani, sort of becoming the heroine after the first movie and then continuing with that and preparing for when the Sanderson sisters inevitably will return kind of thing. So I just loved that idea. And I thought it was such a nice setup and replacement for sort of the Dumbledore character in the pre-show.
Oh, absolutely perfect.
And you got to have somebody replace Harry. And that's like, who better from the original movie than Dani? Dani is the character that we could have brought in Max and Allison, but the reality is they're not as iconic in regards to the future of the series as Dani would be.
Well, but I think, that's what, and this will be like a complete tangent, but that's what I think so many people's issues are with current remakes that just recast the original story and tell the original story, as opposed to doing what you did, which is take the original story, take a main character and expand on it, and you did a wonderful job of that and showing like, hey, after she went through all of that, why wouldn't she continue that? Like that's what catapulted her into her entire future. And I absolutely love that idea. Yeah. That's awesome.
The fact that she was already dressed up as a witch in the original Hocus Pocus shows that she's already, inclined to it. So why not continue that and, become a world-renowned historian where all you do is study spiritualism and witchcraft.
That's so good.
Great.
And that ride would make me both, I think, a little bit scared, but also you would have I can tell those fits of joy and like laughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it seems like a perfect combo ride where it's not all serious and scary, but it's not all just fun. It seems like it would have a wonderful combination of both, and that's what we all want in an attraction, I feel like. So,
and I forgot how dark Forbidden Journey is. Forbidden Journey
really
is really dark. Like I'm like, this is definitely a teen and up attraction because it's way too scary for younger riders.
Yep.
Well, it's funny. We just watched Hocus Pocus a few days ago, and I actually commented to my wife, I'm like, God, this movie's dark. Like, there's a lot of like really creepy, dark stuff in that movie. But it's funny what doing this show with you guys has like made my mind start thinking as I'm watching it going, oh man, this could be something. Like it's such a good property that isn't really represented anywhere. Even what I thought would be cool if like, how like, Magic Kingdom has Boo Bash now, or Mickey's Not So Scary. Take Hollywood Studios or something and theme it a Hocus Pocus Halloween, like after hours kind of thing. I'm like, man, they have so much cool stuff they could do with it. But Logan, you knocked it out of the park, man. That was phenomenal.
And on the last episode, I said I would use a property that had never been used in a park before, and as an attraction, yes. But unfortunately, I for those hardcore fans, they will call me out because the Sanderson sisters have been represented as character meet and greets and stuff. So
barely though. I mean, honestly, like
seasonal.
And we used to love with Mickey's Not So Scary. They had the stage show, but they were such a small fraction of it. They were so underutilized. The same way that Jack and Sally. And as soon as you started talking, I'm like, oh man, are we going Nightmare? Or are we going Hocus Pocus?
I know, man.
It was what I thought. And as soon as you said Forbidden Journey, I'm like, Hocus Pocus. I love it. Both of them are so underutilized. And I get it because they're not going to use them year round. But what I love is that we all three, I think, took something that could be utilized year round. And I don't think it would be out of place. I don't think anybody would walk up and be like, why do we have these 4 ghosts of Harry Potter? I only want to see it during Halloween or Beetlejuice or, Hocus Pocus. I think it's something that can actually be kind of everlasting. And
Yeah.
So yeah, we all are very smart people.
It's and
A
I'll tell you
plus
what,
of an episode. A
Yeah.
plus we give
Yes.
ourselves.
Yes.
I'll tell you what for the listeners, like honestly, we don't usually share with each other what we're going to do.
No.
Maybe like a snippet or just to make sure that we're not stepping on each other's toes. But this is legitimately, we all organically came up with supernatural Halloween themed stuff
Yeah.
that happened to be on this show that's going to come out on Halloween week of this year.
crazy.
So we
Yeah,
are
'cause
all simpatico.
This was not originally supposed to be our Halloween episode
No.
because we were supposed to squeeze in one more
Yeah.
before Halloween. But schedules.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, guess what? Guess what we're not going to do?
we'll have to figure out a Christmas episode or Thanksgiving maybe. No, but I also love I love hearing your guys' thought process going through, and always, what you would have done or wouldn't have done, because it's this show is so much fun for me because of the fact, and I know I've said this before, it's such a challenge. It is a legit challenge. And I fight every single show with ideas because I don't want to phone it in and I want to try and make it fun and whatever. And you guys bring the frickin' thunder and the heat and every single time. And, I appreciate you guys for doing that. This is a blast. Like, I love this. And I can't even believe that we all picked Halloween style things with no plan. Like, that's
perfect.
That's pretty awesome.
Perfect.
Well done, everybody.
Yeah.
So should we?
So much fun.
Should
David,
we put the candy in the basket?
Let's do it, man. Let's trick or treat.
Call this one. All right. Well, everybody, we really hope you enjoyed our not plans to be Halloween episode that we put together for you. We have a blast doing these, and even have more of a blast interacting on Facebook when you guys comment and stuff like that. We really love it. We can still be found on the Main Street Magic feed at this moment, but we also have our own feed, the Theme Park Shuffle. So please go to wherever you get your podcast, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, or any of the other things that I don't know that are out there. Like, subscribe. We have seen some likes on there. Thank you guys so much. Write us some reviews. Tell me how much you don't like me because of my Harry Potter opinions. Tell everybody how good Logan's things are and how professional Jeremy sounds. We really love it. We hope that you guys enjoy this because we love doing it for you. So until next time, Logan.
See you later.
Jeremy.
Peace.
I'm David. This is Theme Park Shuffle. Tune in for the next one, and we're out of here.